Welcome to my 15th live book reading. So we are now on chapter 15 of my book. So as you know, if you've been following me each session, I am reading through this book. So these are my two books. My first one, Ernie Gonzalez, The Determined Dreamer, and Ernie Gonzalez, Escape from Paradise. So I have been working my way through this book. Twice a week we've been reading each chapter, and we're now on chapter 15, and things are really getting exciting now. So stay tuned and keep watching. But don't forget, you can also catch up with my videos. They're about 15-20 minutes long, somewhere between that, depending how long the chapter is. But yeah, you can always catch up and then join me live to follow each session. So as I said, I am the children's author, and I would love if you guys could send in any questions for the author. So I haven't had many, but I would love them because I always love questions, and you guys always seem to have questions for me. So please feel free to send them in. You can go to my website, bethshepherd.com, and you'll find my email or contact form at the bottom of the page. Anyway, let's crack on. So we are on chapter 15, as I said, and it is called No Time to Waste. So if you have been following, you'll remember that Ernie, our very brave, determined snail and very squidgy snail, has set off on an awesome dream to find a special place called Olive Garden. And he has managed to escape loads of different challenges, and he has now found himself a buddy. If you remember, his name is Bruce, the Aussie snail. I wonder if you guys have been practicing your Aussie accents. Hopefully you're better than I am. And he has escaped the annoying Captain Pablo, the annoying fly, just behind me on the wall over there. So I know you guys love the chapters where the fly is. And actually, I'm not going to say anything else. Hopefully you'll see that he pops up soon. So we'll see. I won't say anything else. Anyway, so he's escaped the kitchen. He's escaped being squashed from beetroots. Found himself a friend. He's escaped from a wild pack of dogs and the rapids in the river. Met a strange moving rock, which turned out to be a turtle, Jose the turtle, who was wise and became a great friend to them. Then they found the Olive Garden and everything seemed awesome, and the story could have just ended there, but it would have been a very short story and it would have been too simple for me. I want a few twists in my story. So Ernie woke up, as you remember, feeling a bit unsettled, like something wasn't right. Then he went and spoke to the wise, all-knowing Jose, and Jose said something was in your heart that you've turned your back on. If you remember just recently, and he realized it was that he needed to help the snails of Venezuela to stop them from being captured and possibly cooked, which was what he has discovered has been happening to other snails when he found the pile of empty snail shells behind the fridge. So I know some of you guys have been writing awesome news reports about snails being found, discovered, breaking news, snails, empty snail shells found behind the fridge. And I think I've read some of those out. I know we did 2 different news reports, so I've got another one coming up further on in my chapters. But I love news reports. So I shared one just last session on Tuesday, which was absolutely brilliant. So keep them coming in. Yeah, so then he made it to the garden, then decided he needed to go back and rescue the snails. Anyway, end of last chapter, which was called Change of Plan. I'm trying to remember. Yes, Change of Plan. The chapter ended with them facing the decision, shall they jump on the back of these wild, deadly dogs to catch a ride up to the rubbish truck, which was heading up to the top of the village where they needed to be. And as snails are super slow, it seemed like it would take them forever to get to the truck and it would have gone. So jumping on the dog's legs was a great idea of Jose's, but can they do it? So let's find out today. Oh my goodness, I have forgotten to say hi to a couple of people, and I was really excited about saying hi. So let me just skip back. So I want to say hi to 2 boys. So these guys are my nephews, and they live in Montana in America. And I want to say hi to James and John Morgan, but especially to James because it was his birthday the other day, and he turned 10. Was it the 9th of June? And that's right. So happy birthday, James. And I hope I get to see you guys one day. So hopefully you can catch up later. Okay, let's crack on with the chapter. So no time to waste. I've shown you this awesome picture of them hiding inside their shells, wondering, are they brave enough to actually stick onto the dogs? The two snails sat huddled in their mobile homes, staring at the seemingly impossible challenge that lay before them. Eventually, Bruce popped his head out. "Are you ready?" Ernie looked at him blankly. "Okay, good. Let's jump." And before Ernie could find the words to stop him, Bruce had attached himself to the dog's paw. "Come on, Ern! Quick! The dog will be heading back to the truck any second." Ernie knew he had no choice. He closed his eyes and thought about the empty snail shells behind the fridge. Then, with all the strength he could find, he stretched out his tentacles and jumped. He landed on the edge of the dog's paw. "Good on ya! Now, pull yourself up or he'll squash you," shouted Bruce from the dog's other leg. Bravely, Ernie swung his small body around by his tentacles and hoisted himself safely onto the dog's paw. Then, quickly, he moved himself up the dog's leg. So, both snails were now firmly attached to his back legs, just as he took off at full speed to chase the rubbish truck again. So, wow, they've done it. They have managed to stick on one of each leg of the dog, okay, and slide up his paw and get on safely just before the dog takes off. The snails clung on tightly as the dog bounded away at full speed. "Hang on!" shouted Bruce, as they both used all the suction they could muster to stick to the dog's shiny fur. "I thought you weren't coming," said Ernie. "I know, me too," replied Bruce. "Me three," buzzed a little voice near Ernie's ear as the fly sped past him to catch up with the rubbish truck. "Oh no, not you again," shouted Ernie. The dog dashed around the corner and leapt over a fence. Little did he realize that he had two brave hitchhiking snails attached to his legs. Let's just have a look, because this is just such an awesome picture. Wow, so if you can see the two snails, and there is our annoying Captain Pablo. Okay, finally, he skidded to a sharp stop as he joined the rest of the pack. They greeted each other playfully, then trotted off behind the truck as it pulled away up the hill. Ernie peered over at Bruce, who looked as if he had done this before. He thought that he probably had. Bruce is a super adventurer. When the truck stopped to collect another bag of rubbish, the dogs began to eat the peelings which had fallen around the wheels. "This is our stop, Ern. It's time to get off," said Bruce. Ernie had turned slightly pale and was feeling a little seasick from all the bounding, and didn't need telling twice. "I'm right behind you, my friend," he shouted. He watched as Bruce slid down the dog's leg and up onto the tire of the truck. Ernie was just about to follow him when suddenly the truck began to move. "Bruce, watch out!" he shouted loudly. It appeared that his friend was about to be crushed under the wheel. Bruce had a split second to think of something before he came face to face with the hard concrete road, squashed between it and the tire. Ernie held his breath. The truck stopped, and the bin men threw more bags into its mouth. "Bruce, where are you?" Ernie panicked. He couldn't see his friend anywhere. It didn't look good. Without hesitation, he slid down the dog's leg and up onto the tire. Then he worked his way up towards the wheel arch. He was almost there when he felt the wheel beginning to move as the truck drove off once more. The tire turned with Ernie on it. With speed, he passed the wheel arch. He stretched up to grab it, but missed it. And before he knew it, he found himself heading rapidly towards the sun-scorched road. "No!" he cried. his adventure was about to come to a squidgy end. Oh dear, poor Ernie. So he doesn't know what's happened to Bruce, and now he is on the tire, and he has tried to grab hold of the wheel arch. So that's the metal rim on the car. So he's tried to grab hold of that to get up onto the truck, and he's missed it. So now he's going back round towards the floor again, and this time he thinks he's about to be squashed flat as a pancake. Awesome simile. I love the simile, flat as a pancake. So anyway, today, my tip, not about similes, but we do need to do similes. It is about story openers. So your opening of your story, okay, it is incredibly important. I love story openers, okay, because they are a great way to grab your reader's attention and pull them into your story, kind of sell your story to your reader to make them want to read the whole story. So it needs to be exciting and interesting, okay? And there are lots of creative ways that you can do that. Okay, so often people want to start with once upon a time, okay? And this is, you may have heard your teachers mention this, it can often be very cliched, okay? It's just very repetitive. People always use that. I would love you guys to stay away from that and try and use your imagination and all your awesome writing skills to think of something different. Okay, so I have some ideas I've written down here, okay? One of them could be start with dialogue. Okay, so I had a little girl, Jinhan. She wrote a brilliant story yesterday, and she started with dialogue. The two snails, it was about two snails, they were playing tag, and the first sentence of her story was, "Got you," shouted Billy. Then she said, two snail boys were playing tag in the garden. I love that as a first opening sentence. So not only is your whole opening paragraph of your story really important, but also the first sentence is incredibly important. So before you write your story, don't just rush into it. Think about, what could I do? So there's loads of ways. So one of them, as I said, is dialogue. Okay, can you add dialogue to open up your story? Could you add action? Your two characters are running through the woods or something. What about, so something that I did in my book, start with the problem. Okay, this is a tricky one and you have to do it carefully. So if you remember, my story opened, okay, with Ernie splat in a rotten avocado. Okay, now this is something that actually happened a bit further in the story. If you remember, it was after he'd found himself in a vegetable box and put into a fridge, and he feels like giving up. Okay, that was a little bit further in our story, but I started with that because straight away it gives a feeling of suspense and intrigue to pull the reader in. And then if you remember, I went back, okay, and I explained what happened before those events, and I did my character description, a bit of a setting description about the plant pot on the road, why Ernie wanted to go in search of his dreams, and what happened to lead up to this. And then after I'd done that, I went back to the story and carried on with the story. So you can do that. Super tricky. I know you guys can do it carefully, okay? Other ways, so I think you could start with a beautiful description. That is always a great way to open your story, okay? It was a beautiful sunny day and the sun was shining, and you can describe the trees, the smells, senses, depending where your story is set, okay? So lots of different ways. So you might be guessing now what my activity is for you. So I have a challenging activity, but a really good one for you, okay? I want you to think about a story, okay? My suggested idea for a story is two kids lost in the woods, okay? I've used this one before, I think, but I like this one. Okay, so I want you to think of 4 different ideas for an opener and maybe choose one of them to write, or if you're feeling super brave, write all 4, okay? Great practice for you. So one of them could start a bit like with them playing tag. It could be something like, you're it, I got you. Okay, no, I got you. And then you could have them, show them playing tag, and then you could go back to 2 kids named were playing in the woods. It was a beautiful sunny morning and the sun was shining. Okay, so you could do it like that. Or start with the sunny morning. It was a beautiful sunny morning and the sun was glistening on the beautiful trees, and the rabbits were running through the middle of the forest. Okay, that's a good one. Start with the description. Think about what you can see. What other ideas did I write? Yeah, start with a story background. Two kids had been bored one day, and it had been raining the whole summer holidays, and today was the first sunny day, so they decided to go off and play. So I want you to think of 4 different openings and avoid using once upon a time. So I hope that helps. I would love to see your work. Please send it in to me, okay? And I would love to share it with you guys that are listening. So you can find my email to send my work on my website at bethshepherd.com, which I already mentioned. So don't forget to subscribe to my page, and also don't forget there are some free worksheets on my website which you can download if you ask your parents to help you, and you can have some fun with those and practice your story writing. And I think it's one about what is your dream. So that is a great thing to write about your dreams and put it up on the wall so you can see it every day. So hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.